Hello, my name is Diane Kahanik, and today I'll be showing you the various components of EasyTech keyboarding with a focus on our new adaptive keyboarding and how to use it in your classroom. On the agenda today, we're going to talk about what's the goal of keyboarding instruction, what are the components of EasyTech's keyboarding program, and specifically, how do you use Learning.com keyboarding with the new adaptive keyboarding. Think about this statement for a bit. According to the quote, the goal is for students to type fast enough that they don't slow down their thinking by having to think about typing. But where does that start? Experts recommend start with technique first, then accuracy, and finally speed. The focus should be that students make progress, and we would expect them to be within a range in order to meet that 38 to 40 words per minute goal by high school or definitely by the end of high school. In order to meet those goals, we can provide you with keyboarding goals by grade, starting in 3rd grade to the end of high school to help guide you to help your students reach that end goal of 38 to 40 words per minute by the end of high school. So now I'm going to log into my teacher account so we can dig deep into Learning.com keyboarding. So I'm logged into my teacher account. So I'm going to go to the library. I'm going to choose EasyTech. Within EasyTech Integrator, I'm going to click on the EasyTech keyboarding and word processing tile. You can also find the keyboarding curriculum in any of these other tiles here, but I'm going to go straight to just the keyboarding and word processing. So let's look first at the kindergarten and 1st grade curriculum called Finding Keys for K1. I'm going to click View. So first of all, I want you to notice the different icons and the different letters. So just so that we know, L is for lessons. Lessons are the interactive activities for students that directly teach the concept. AEs are for application exercises. These activities should be assigned after a lesson so students have the opportunity to apply the skills that they gained in the previous lessons. D, down here, D is for discussions. Here you will find detailed lesson plans that a teacher can follow to directly teach a new concept through a conversation. So the K1 unit helps students develop the keyboarding skills appropriate for their grade level, with fun keyboarding lessons and drills covering the letters in the alphabet, numbers, spaces, and all done with the emphasis of phonics. So let's look at the lesson titled A, B, C, D, E. You'll notice that this lesson takes about 7 minutes. Let's look at the teacher notes first by clicking on the title of the lesson. Notice that it says that this lesson teaches finger placement as it ties in phonics. Now let's look at the student view of the lesson.
Introduction to keyboards. A, B, C, D, and E. This is a keyboard, just like the one with your computer. When you press the keys on the keyboard, you see different letters and symbols on your monitor. You will learn to find the letters A, B, C, D, and E on your keyboard. Find the A key and press it.
So the direction is given to find the A key. So imagine you're a kindergartner. All you have to do is find the A key on the keyboard and press it.
A, astronaut.
Then you're given immediate feedback with a fun animated graphic.
Find the B key and press it. B, bat.
I also want to show you that students can
Find the
pause
C
the
key
lessons
and
just by
press it.
clicking the screen. Students can move backwards if
Find
they
the
need
B key
a
and press
repeated
it.
instruction or a screen previously. Students also can now change some minor settings by clicking on the setting gear. If they need subtitles in English or in Spanish, they can make that adjustment. Or if you have a student that needs the lesson to be slowed down, you can enable that just by clicking the toggle and then click Save. I need to hear the instructions again, so I'm going to click the question mark button.
Find the B key and press it. B, bat. Find the C key and press it.
Students can stop at any time and exit. All they have to do is click the red X, click Exit. If you're new to Learning.com, the best way to get back is to use the breadcrumb at the top. So I'm going to go back to my Finding Keys sequence. I'm going to click the breadcrumb. I wanted to point out another type of curriculum, the application exercise. So I'm going to look at beginning sounds. So like I said earlier, these application exercises are meant to be assigned after your students have completed the previous lessons. This gives the students the opportunity to apply the skills that they've learned in the previous lessons. Let's look at the teacher notes first. So this application exercise does take about 20 minutes. It gives you keywords that you can look at. It gives you primary objectives as well as secondary objectives. We do provide teachers with a lesson plan to guide them with their instruction. Obviously, categories and standards. So this is what it looks like for a student. So in this application exercise, students will identify the initial sounds that they hear in high frequency words by marking a keyboard template. Let's see what that looks like for a student. So here's what's going to happen. The teacher is going to read a word. The student is going to think of a letter that matches the beginning sound of the word. They're going to use their mouse to just drag, move a star to the letter on the keyboard. It gives them a picture of what their template might look like. And now students are instructed to open the template. Let's open it up. First, if your students are ready to type their name in, they can type their name in. Let's say the teacher is practicing their spelling words for the week, and the teacher reads the word dog. So the student would think, what's the beginning sound of the word dog? And then they would click and drag on top of the beginning sound of the word dog. Once completed, this page could be easily printed, or the teacher could just walk around and check off how the student did on their beginning sounds. I'm going to use my breadcrumb. This time I'm going to go all the way back to the keyboarding word processing. So starting in second grade, we recommend finger placement lessons and activities. These are for your more traditional instruction with the home row, upper row, lower row, number row, and so on. Notice that these lessons are a little bit longer, taking from 12 to 15 minutes. It does include new guided practice activities that are just 1 minute long, and we'll look at those in just a minute. So let's look at the home row lesson first. This lesson will directly teach the concept of home row keyboarding, and it gives students the opportunity to practice using just the home row. This lesson is in the first of series of 5 different lessons that teach basic keyboarding techniques, including the proper finger placement and posture. In this lesson, students focus on just the home row keys. So let me demonstrate the home row lesson in student view.
Keyboarding. Home row. Everyone should know how to use a keyboard, including you. Keyboarding is the basic way you can use a computer to communicate. To get started, sit up straight, plant your feet on the floor, and rest your back against the chair. Good posture keeps you from tiring and helps you feel comfortable while you type. Successful keyboarding means that you can quickly press keys with the proper fingers without looking at the keyboard. To do this, you need to learn how to use your left hand for the keys on the left side of the keyboard and your right hand for the keys on the right side of the keyboard. Your home base on the keyboard is the home row. The home row is the middle row of letters, and it has two touch keys. F is the touch key for the left hand, and J is the touch key for the right hand. A touch key has a small bump or line on it that you can feel. By feeling the touch keys, you can keep track of where your hands are on the keyboard without looking at the keys. Now practice typing the touch keys F and J. Use finger 1 on each hand to type what you see on screen. Use your thumb to press the spacebar.
It quacks at you if you type the wrong letter. Notice that this is just practicing home row letters. I'm going to pause it here. I also want to point out a feature. If you're logged in as a teacher and you are modeling this for your students, you can move forward by using the forward arrow key down here.
To type D's and K's, keep your number 1 fingers on the touch keys and use your number 2 fingers to press D and K. Use finger 2 on each hand to type D's and K's.
I'm going to do a few letters. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to exit out. I think you have a good look and feel of what the home row lessons look like. So remember, this is a series of lessons that focus on the traditional home row, upper row, lower row, number row, and so on. Notice after home row, you see a GP, which is a guided practice. I'm going to show this one for you first. Notice that these are very short, 1 minute. Guided practices are new and add value to your keyboarding solution. Notice the overlay. It reinforces finger placement. Once they finish, they get immediate feedback, focusing on their accuracy and their words per minute. But all along with the overlay, it reinforces proper technique. The guided practices are very different from the lessons. You'll notice it has moving fingers, sounds. You practice a couple of letters at a time, and you really get that great accuracy score. The accuracy score is what will show up in the grade book. Just the percentage. After your students complete the lesson, you do want to assign all of the guided practices to your students. If you feel like you need to reassign the lessons, you can. So I've shown you the direct instruction, the lessons, the guided practices. Now I'm going to show you the application, which is adaptive keyboarding. You want to assign adaptive keyboarding 10 to 15 minutes at a time, 2 to 3 times per week, after students have completed the direct instruction lessons and guided practice exercises on keyboarding and have learned proper finger placement. So I'm going to use my breadcrumb to go back. I'm going to open up the adaptive keyboarding tile. There are 2 age-appropriate versions of adaptive keyboarding that have an interconnected theme. Students in grades 3 through 5 are on the great keyboarding adventure. They're exploring the keyboard and the world around them through a series of different habitats and adventures within the world. Students can earn adventure badges as they complete a series of keyboarding exercises. In grades 6 through 8, they are on an urban keyboarding explorer, finding their way across the keyboard and finding themselves in new cities. They earn city badges like stamps on their passport as they complete keyboarding levels. Like I said earlier, you want to assign adaptive keyboarding to students 10 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times per week, after students have completed all of the direct instruction lessons and guided practices on keyboarding. You want to make sure they've learned the proper finger placement before assigning adaptive keyboarding. In order to do that, I am going to log in as a student. So I'm logged in as a student who's working on the Great Keyboarding Adventure. I've been typing in this for a few weeks already, 10 to 15 minutes a day. Right now I have the score that you see, 87%. That is my accuracy score as of today. So I'm going to describe and demonstrate the different components of adaptive keyboarding, just so that you know. The first thing that's important is that proper ergonomic reinforcement. So we do have aids. For instance, every 7 minutes and at the beginning of each level, students are reminded to check their posture, put their fingers on home row before getting started. Other aids include animated fingers, highlighted keys, there's a colored keyboard. All of these provide visual cues on appropriate finger placement and what finger should be used for which key. Let me point out the different kinds of exercises real quick. The first one is muscle memory. These are short exercises created for each student based on his or her most obvious problem keys. Repetition and different combinations of the target problem keys to help build automaticity. Word challenge exercises use the 3 highest problem keys to prescribe words that have a frequency of those letters. Zone challenge exercises have a collection of words based on the student's finger that was most problematic. This allows students learning to focus on letters within that finger region on the keyboard. Our word banks include grade-specific collections of words, including frequently used words, core content vocabulary words, most common words seen on online assessments, and other word lists that reinforce the student is learning in other subject areas. Another key piece of adaptive keyboarding are the story challenges. A student will move into skill area challenges and story challenges after they spend 15 minutes on problem keys, or if they receive a 90% accuracy level within their problem keys. It will automatically pop up, they'll complete the story challenge, and then move on. Another piece of adaptive keyboarding is the formative assessment. Each level begins with a formative assessment that captures accuracy and words per minute data points to evaluate performance and growth at regular intervals. The assessment contains all letters, all numbers, common punctuation, to properly assess the full keyboard and determine what keys and zones need the most work. Each assessment is approximately 5 minutes long based on the average words per minute for grades 3 through 5 and 6 through 8. If you've ever taken keyboarding instruction before or have taught keyboarding, you know and recognize the sentence used. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This initial assessment gives the program a diagnosis for starting point. So the first time your students log into adaptive keyboarding, they'll be given this formal assessment. And from that, different muscle memory, word challenges, and zone challenges will be prescribed based on that student's areas of problem keys. It will begin prescribing exercises and drills that will continue to adapt. All students will be working on different activities and words in their exercises. It's completely individualized. Now let's look at the student dashboard. The student dashboard provides students a snapshot of their own performance statistic, which allows them to track growth. Throughout their practice, students will see accuracy, words per minute, statistics averaged over the last completed exercises, problem keys that they need to practice. Let's look at the dashboard. At any time, students have access to this. I'm going to change the date range because like I said, I've been working on this for several weeks. And so it shows how long total time that I've been working on my keyboarding, just in adaptive keyboarding. Shows my recent words per minute, my recent accuracy, how many exercises I've completed. Puts it in a chart format. I love this part, it even shows graphically my accuracy by key, which is lowercase, and my accuracy by key in uppercase. Gives a percentage score for each key. And then at the very bottom, you can see that I've taken the formative assessment 3 different times. Initially, right before I started the next level, and then right before I started the 3rd level. This is available for students. It's also available for teachers. The next part of the dashboard that I wanted to show you was the games. Students can earn game time the more that they practice. And we all know that the more they practice, the more they're going to improve. So just so that you know, about every 30 minutes of practice, students unlock 6 minutes of gameplay. So let's look at the game real quick. I've earned 24 minutes of game time and looks like I need to start playing. So as the letters pop up, I'm typing them. It gives you a look and feel of the game. Now let's look at the badges. The more the students type, the more badges and levels that they get. So I've been typing quite a bit. So I'm already on level 2 and I'm earning time to get up to level 3. If your students are typing and practicing their typing 10 to 15 minutes at least 2 to 3 times per week, they can earn 18 levels per academic year. Our solution does not have a maximum number of levels, and students can continue to progress as long as they choose. It's unlimited. In future releases, students will have options to customize settings, so keep checking back. This will come very, very soon. For student resources, they do have access to download an ergonomics chart and a printable keyboard. So now I'm going to log out as my student account, and I'm going to log back in as my teacher account and show you the gradebook and some additional teacher reports that you have access to. So I'm logged into my teacher account, and I'm in my adaptive keyboarding class where I have the adaptive keyboarding assigned. So here's the gradebook. When I click on adaptive keyboarding as a teacher and click view, it opens up a whole new teacher dashboard. A variety of ways to look at this. So this is the dashboard for the class to review the statistics as a class. So I am going to back up the date so that I can view it, and I can see that my entire class has spent 6 hours and 2 minutes on adaptive keyboarding so far. And it gives me an overall view of accuracy and words per minute. Click on Student, and I can look at individual student progress just by toggling down to a new name of a student and clicking View. Notice the focus is on words per minute, recent accuracy, and growth. If you scroll down, you can see very similar to the student dashboard, accuracy by key, and the assessment statistics. Our reports tab, like I said, future releases, more will be coming with this. The settings tab, you are able, as a teacher, you are able to set targets based on your grade level, or you can set custom goals for your class by adjusting the accuracy and words per minute. Let's also look at the resources page. Many of the same resources that students have access to, the ergonomics chart, the printable keyboard. There's some special guides, infographic. Do you remember that goals by grade that I showed you earlier? If you needed to download that and print that as well, that's right here. Additional resources, a caregiver letter, and an overview of the program. So now I'm going to quickly review, for those that need it, how to create a class, enroll students, and assign the keyboarding and adaptive keyboarding to your students so you can get started. What you're going to do is very simple. It's 3 easy steps. First, you create a class. Clicking on the graduation cap, give your class a name. I'm going to call mine Kahanic Keyboarding. Click Create. So now I'm going to go ahead and assign curriculum next. My curriculum is already open here, the keyboarding and word processing. So I'm going to start with some finger placement exercises. Click View. If I know I need to do everything, home row, guided practices, upper row, guided practices, lower row, and so on, I can assign the entire unit just with one click. So that's what I'm going to do, assign unit. If you wanted to pick and choose, maybe you just wanted to start just with home row, then you can individually assign lessons and guided practices over here on the right. But I'm going to assign the whole unit because I know that that's what my students need. I'm going to use my breadcrumb to go back because I still need to assign the adaptive keyboarding. I'm going to click View. I do have 3rd graders, so I'm going to choose the Great Keyboarding Adventure and click Assign. And I want to make sure, there it is, Great Keyboarding Adventure is right there. Now what I need is students. I want to make sure that my class is still up here in blue, and I click Students. I can click the grade level of students that I'm looking for. Check the students that I want to add to my class. Click Enroll Selected. And now I'm ready to go. I'm going to click on the name of the class in blue over here to get to my gradebook to make sure I have students, I have curriculum. If I need to print login cards or print a roster, I can do that from here. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is future enhancements. So I kind of mentioned it before, but every 2 weeks we are going to be releasing new features and new enhancements all the way until the end of September. Students will be able to add customized settings from their dashboard. We're going to add additional school and district coordinator reports, including some raw data reports. You're going to see additional refinement to the teacher reports, including an export of class or individual data feature. We're going to add a logout button. We're going to adjust titles and fonts, especially for those Chromebooks. And then we're just going to choose some various fixes and adjustments to make the experience more pleasant. Thank you for joining me today. And keep in mind, as you begin using adaptive keyboarding and our other keyboarding exercises, if you have any problems or need any help, please don't hesitate to contact our support team. You can either call, email, or use the live chat feature that I'm showing you here. Support.learning.com is how you can contact us. Thank you. Have a good day.